Hello, how are you?
I'm great, thank you. Oh, it's so lovely to see you.
It's so good to see you.
I've just loved watching Undekhi and Yeh Kaali Kaali Ankhein. My God, best two shows of the last 2 years for me.
Thank you so much, me. And I realize that you've liked it because I've seen your interviews with Siddharth sir and with a lot of people. You have openly praised my work, so lots of gratitude for that. Thank you so much.
Have you adjusted to like life after Purva?
Definitely, if I had to see things broadly, there is a life before Purva and after Purva. At least in the way people are perceiving my work, people are validating me being around.
Mhm.
But for myself, I mean, I've always been around. I have been working hard. But
Yeah.
then I feel that it's just not your talent and your hard work. There's also this some sort of divine intervention that you need to believe in and wait for. So yeah, I guess this was the right time. So this happened. Life has
Mhm.
been great.
Oh wow! Well, we'll talk more about Undekhi and Yeh Kaali Kaali Ankhein in a bit. But can I ask you a movie mad question to start things off?
Yes, of course.
So yeah, so what's the first film that made you fall in love with cinema?
Well, if I had to pinpoint one incident, I remember that my father traveled to the States for work, and I tagged along with him. I was this overexcited kid. And there, my Masi stays there.
Yes.
So she took me to this concert, and we had Asha Bhosle ji, we had Sonu Nigam performing. And I remember that I was in awe of the performances, the kind of creativity and the kind of vibe they got to the whole environment, the way people's hearts were getting touched. Everybody was, with them.
Yeah.
If they were singing a happy song, we all were happy. If they were singing a sad song, we all were in tears. So I think that the power of a performer to move people was something that sort of just made me feel that wow, I mean, I wish I can do something like that.
Hmm.
But that is just one incident. Otherwise, if I look back to my life, I feel that getting into another character's shoes and thinking of a world from another person's perspective was a very good escape for me.
Yeah.
I used to
100%.
sort of enjoy that. I mean,
Mhm.
touch wood, my life has been beautiful. I've been blessed with amazing family, and my parents have given me all the love and support. But still, it was sometimes very boring being me. So watching something on television or watching a good performance on theater, or for that matter, anybody, even somebody who used to come to my drawing room, I used to just get so fascinated living in their shoes for some time. I used to
Yeah.
just I used to go to the washroom, just shut it, and for a moment just look in the mirror
Yeah.
and enact that person's life. So
Oh wow. So do you think that kind of inspired you to pursue acting?
see, I had no idea way back then that it means that I want to be an actor.
Mm-hmm.
I was very shy to admit it for the longest of time,
Yeah.
even to myself actually. And
Mm-hmm.
it's just few years since I started telling people that yes, I'm an actor. That acknowledgement is so important that I tell myself,
Yeah.
and so that acknowledgement came in very late in my life. Just own it, own your dream, say that you want to do this, and then work towards it.
Yeah, I remember some years ago you were in Sri Siddhartha Gautama, and
Yeah.
yeah, so you have, yeah, like you said, you have been around for quite some time, but then obviously there was some divine intervention that took
Yeah,
place
yeah.
in Anchal 2.0 in a way. So one character I've absolutely loved, as you know, is Purva. And what I love about her is like from her introduction, when you see her eyes like in the mirror, like the way she's looking, and then when she meets Vikrant for the first time, what is it, 15 years, 8 months, 7 days later, she's like, oh, lovely to see you, Vikrant. She's so polite, like the way she speaks to her father's henchman. And then you just think this antagonist is so pure. Siddhartha mentioned Purva is an antagonist, but she's a pure antagonist. And so how did you get into the headspace of Purva?
This is again something that Siddhartha has taught me. It's not hidden that I call him a mentor everywhere I go, because he helped me so immensely, you know, in understanding the character, going ahead and taking it up. So he's taught me another thing, that learn to disconnect. So after Purva, then Undekhi released, and there were so many compliments coming by. It was as if the whole world has woken up to me, and I was this overwhelmed person. Didn't know what to react, how to react, because everybody would just ask me that, "How are you feeling? How are you feeling?"
I remember,
I was excited, but then even if I just said that, yeah, I'm very happy, they said, no, why aren't you jumping around? Why aren't you dancing around? So for a very long time after the release, I had to put in a lot of energy to say that, yeah, I am happy. So after that, I took a break. I went out of Bombay for some time with my friends. I just disconnected and I just enjoyed the whole of it within rather than outside. And I said my prayers to the Almighty. I thanked my parents and just closed my eyes, meditated and enjoyed. And after that, I've forgotten most of the things. It's like a clean slate, ready to take on to the project. But yeah, coming back to Purva, the scene that you mentioned, especially the initial scene, the introduction scene, and also when I take him along to the dam and I say that, no, tum, aap, tum. So, you know, I think
I love that.
Yeah, I love that too. And I remember that, you know, specifically Siddhartha gave me this brief that don't take the innocence away from this girl. Obviously, she's born and brought up in that environment. It's something that, you know, she's oblivious to now. I mean, she knows the power, but now she can. It's not that she's recently seen it and she's charmed by the whole background that she has. She's been there, you know. So for her, it's not a big deal anymore. So rather than throwing that power around, behind all of that is a girl who's really in love with the boy, and she is doing everything that she can to chase him, to get his love. So that thought we kept intact, and that very thought is also very beautiful and something that we all relate to, that pehla pyar, that first feeling, those butterflies. So I think once we kept that intact, then obviously the story took you to a lot of things, and plus then we also saw everything from Vikrant's point of view. That also made her, you know,
more negative than she actually is.
So because it's like if Vikrant says that he's positive, the audience would like to believe that what he's saying is positive, and vice versa.
That's what I loved about Purva, is that sheer innocence. She's a wholesome girl. And actually, I found myself loving Purva more than Vikrant even, because I'm thinking, this girl is so lovable, even though like she's backed with a lot of power. But the thing is, she's not a bad person. She just doesn't know any better. Like that's how she's grown up around her dad.
You just said it. She doesn't know any better.
I think Purva is actually a lovely character, because I mean, the way she looks at Vikrant is so lovely. Like with it's just so lovely the way she just stares at him all day like this.
It's a very twisted character, and it's probably become like a synonym in itself. So yesterday I was shooting, and the place where we were shooting, there was a little cat. So I was going and trying to pet that cat, and that cat went away. So everybody said that, so the cat's name is Simba. So everybody said, oh, Simba, please don't do that to Purva, because now she's chosen to love you. You can't run away from her.
That's so true. Everyone was saying that, like, they wouldn't want to meet Purva because like she's gonna stifle you with love. And I'm thinking, Yeah.
chooses to love you, if she chooses to have you in her life, then you don't
Yeah.
have a choice. So, these are the terms that I keep hearing again and again. Today in the morning, I went to the market and somebody said, आप पूर्वा है ना, मीठी छुरी है बिल्कुल, पता ही नहीं चलता देख के कि आप क्या करने वाली हो.
Oh.
Oh, okay, thank you.
So they actually think you are like that in real life. Then they've kind of just associated you with this character. So
Yeah, and I don't want to correct them for a moment because I love to hear how people have perceived Purva. How do they think of her, and the kind of names that are being attached to her, the kind of memes that came across. It just fills my heart with so much of love.
I love the bond she shares with her father. So Saurabh ji, like that bond you guys had on screen together, like as father-daughter, like he would do anything for Purva, and I just love that. Like, so how did you work to kind of create that father-daughter bond on screen?
So I think it's a work of great writing, storytelling, and great chemistry also.
Yeah,
Because I have worked with Saurabh sir before in
yeah,
a Tamil film. He played my father in that film.
yeah.
And Saurabh sir and Siddharth sir's friendship goes back to, I think, almost 25, 20, 27 years.
Mm-hmm.
So, there was that environment of a lot of comfort. And we did realize that it's very important. It's important for me, for Purva to show her bond with the father,
Yeah.
because that's her backbone. And even though, if you practically see, we don't share too many scenes together. Probably there are maximum 3 scenes.
Yeah.
But in those 3 scenes, it's so beautifully established that this bond is unbreakable.
Yeah.
And there's this one look of Saurabh sir which I totally love, and I think I've seen it so many times in repeat mode just for him. When Vikrant comes and says that I need to go to London, and she's like, "Oh, tum London chale jaoge." Then she comes back, and father asks
Yeah.
that, "Sab theek hai?" So she says, "Sab theek." And the way he looks at,
And he does this with his ear, and he does that like thinking.
yeah, and he just sort of thinks and does this, he
He
looks
knows.
away. He knows that something has hit my daughter and I need to make her happy.
Yeah.
So I think when you're working with such a talent house, you learn so much. And I think post Yeh Kaali Kaali Ankhein as an actor, I feel more confident today, not because of just the validation, but also because I have worked with such experienced and talented
Yeah.
people that it was like a learning school for me. And since we were shooting during the pandemic, the shoot was stretched for about 6 to 7 months. Hats off to the producers, the team, Siddharth, so that how they managed to shoot it in the pandemic when
Yeah.
everything was shut. But because of that, we all were sort of in touch for 7 months, doing workshops, meeting one another, discussing scenes. So I got a lot of time to talk, to learn, unlearn, to grow, and it was a great journey.
And like the scene where his neck is hurting and she's like, "Papa idhar aao," and like when she calls her dad, and you can tell like, and also I think a part of why Purva is kind of like how she is because the fact that there's no motherly figure in Purva's life, so the father's kind of just indulged her with everything that she wants, like so whatever she wants she gets, and that like the Vikrant is the trophy, as he says.
It's so amazing that even though you are seeing the story from Vikrant's point of view, we're able to see those very real and authentic touches to Purva's character.
Yeah.
You do see her as a very caring woman towards her father, and for obviously for Vikrant, she goes to any lengths. That's something else. But apart from that, there are certain things like there was this Kawali scene that was happening, and in that scene, the DSP had come. I asked Siddharth, so that does Purva get up and greet him because the father is going to greet him.
Yeah.
So Siddharth said it. Yes, she's not Badtameez. So
Yeah.
she's respectful when it needs to be. She knows her limits. She understands her family's background, her
Yeah.
status. So you see that in her in everything that she chooses to do. Like if in the room she has a fight with Vikrant, outside you see her in a sari, prim and proper, talking to
Mhm.
everybody respectfully. So she understands the responsibility
Yeah.
of where she is.
Yeah.
So these things make a character so interesting. She's a woman when needs to be, but there's a girl inside her, and that comes out when she's around Vikrant, and there's a twinkle in her eyes, and
Oh, I
just
love that twinkle in Purva's eyes whenever she sees Vikrant. Like when they're driving to the dam in the beginning, and she's just staring at him like
my
you can see that.
Abhi kitni cute hai Vikrant. That's the line.
Yeah, that's it. That's the line. So yeah, so how was it working with Tahir on that? Because like the wedding scene, the wedding scene is one of my favorite scenes. Where it's the best day in Purva's life, the worst
Yeah.
day in Vikrant's life, and the way she's the kind of like she has that twinkle in her eye that finally I'm marrying the love of my life. So how did you kind of create that equation on screen
I'm
together?
sorry. Um, this is so funny. Like as you're narrating this, what you see on screen is what you see, but there is also an off-screen story behind this.
Oh really?
This was this was Tahir's first real wedding. I have from advertisement background, so I think I've been married 50 times on
Yeah.
screen. For me, this wasn't a very big deal. Like, but Tahir, he freaked out during that
Yeah,
scene.
it is his first real wedding.
He
Yeah.
was so scared. He again and again kept saying, and you could hear him, कितने फेरे हो गए ये असली में तो नहीं शादी हो जाएगी.
Oh.
वो scared.
He's so scared
And
that असली में शादी होगी.
yeah, he even asked that Pandit ji that the mantras that you're reading, why are they
Are they
so
real?
authentic? Why do they sound so authentic? He said that I'm an actor, but I know mantras also. So he said, what?
Oh my God.
Are you serious? So I sort of pulled his leg, but I told him that listen, please don't worry. This is just a shoot, and you don't have to worry. So luckily we stopped shooting at the 6th Fera. Otherwise, had we completed
Oh
7,
my God. He would have been freaked out. He would have been like, oh my goodness, Anchal meri biwi ban gayi.
he never saw me as Anchal. This is hats off to his focus and his hard work that he psyched himself thinking that I'm Purva. So for the
Oh,
entire shoot schedule, he would look at me and think that this girl is Purva, and he used to just take a U-turn and run away.
that's actually a brilliant method because that you could see that the sheer hatred Vikrant has for Purva.
And honestly, at that point of time, I did not understand that chemistry.
Yeah.
But when I saw the show, I realized that the kind of things Vikrant has to go through because of this a particular girl, it's rightly done. Then I mean, obviously, if that was his way of approaching it, it worked brilliantly. Because as an actor, what happens is that obviously you get a full bound script, you know what the story is and everything.
Mm.
But once you start going ahead with your character, you by choice, it's better to forget the journey of other characters in the story.
Yeah.
It is good to know that what are you doing, what is my motive here, so that you do complete justice to the moment that you are in. So while shooting, I was mostly oblivious to things Vikrant has to go through, because then as Anchal, I would have probably got confused. तो इसीलिए मैं तो अपने आप में पूरा जस्टिफाइड थी कि पूर्वा इज दिस राइटियस गर्ल, शी इज इन लव विद दिस बॉय, व्हाट इज हिज प्रॉब्लम.
Yeah.
Later on when I saw the show, I was like, my god, this poor boy, because there was also this BTS that Netflix later on released.
Yeah.
So they had this question where they asked that which is the one thing that you're scared of, which freaks you out, which is like a horror thing for you.
Mhm.
And he actually took Purva's name. He said that it's Purva for me because
Oh yeah.
it's that girl.
Yeah, she freaks him out. Like even as a child, he's like, "Beta now."
Yeah. But you know what's been fascinating? Till date, I receive so many DMs from people saying that why doesn't Vikrant say yes to
Love
me?
her back.
You know, as we discussed this in the beginning, for people now, when they look at me, they see me as Purva and they ask questions to me as if I've written the story. So I have to tell them that, listen, relax.
Yeah. That's so true. Like I know people who also ask, like, they prefer Purva over Shikha, so they don't understand why Vikrant doesn't like Purva. And especially with Purva, like she's so polite and so calm, but then there are moments where you see she kind of loses her cool, like with Vikrant in the car. When
You see, there's a sense of, you know, she's I mean, that's up to the writers how and what do they want to show in the future. But what was told to me was that, you know, she she doesn't have a mother. So
yeah,
for a girl like that, you know, she could probably be gullible, but she doesn't want to show that. So this is
yeah,
probably her defense mechanism also. There are such people who do not like to show their weaknesses because they fear that somebody might exploit those weaknesses. So
yeah,
they learn to sort of just sh- uh, show that they're very calm from the outside. And also, this was worked upon on that. Even for that matter, you see, my father, Akhiraj, he gets angry, but that's only after his patience has been tested for a really long time. Otherwise, he's always calm. Like the biggest of situations, you know, you see that these so-called powerful, influential people, they'll just smile back at you and they'll give you that feeling that they'll handle it all. But
mm,
probably from the inside, they could be a mess. But they do not like to show their weaknesses.
no,
So with Purva also, I try to bring this around in her character that it needs to be all very controlled. When I try to control a lot of times, I remember Siddharth used to be like, no, when she's with him, she needs to be like expressive. She needs to be happy. That twinkle in her eyes need to be seen. So while you're being like this, your energies are streamlined. There's also this childlike
yeah.
bravery that needs to come across. So that balance was very tough sometimes to maintain. Glad it happened.
In Ladakh, when she finds out about Thapa and Kalikant, and she says to Dharmesh, जिसने भी ये किया है उनका भी वैसे ही हाल करना. There are moments where, yeah, you can tell she's her father's daughter.
Yeah. She can absolutely take control of things, and she is very empowered that way.
Yeah.
And that is probably one of the reasons that she doesn't shy away from speaking out her desires openly.
Speaking of that, like on the wedding night where she's just playing around, messing around the hotel, wandering around with her silk nightgown on. Piazza is playing in the back.
I'm so glad that, you know, I had these moments in the
Yeah.
series because it explored and gave me a chance to show so many sides of Purva, you know.
Yeah.
This is the fantasy of a girl that, you know, she's got married to the love of her life, and now she wants to play around, she wants to act cute, and she wants to tease him, she wants to seduce him.
The shararat.
Yeah, she wants to do that shararat and everything. There were so many small, interesting characteristics given to Purva.
Yeah.
Made it even more beautiful to portray this girl and bring her to life today.
Before the wedding, when she's doing the Russian roulette, when she's like,
Yeah.
and I'm thinking, oh my God, like the she's like actually holding it. She knows how to use it. Like she's like,
Wearing off that woman. I mean, she was actually taking a gunshot. She wasn't even kidding
she
about
wasn't
it.
playing. Yeah, she was
So,
real.
so her craze, her innocence, it's like all the ingredients
So
made.
many like
वो
nuances
सब
in it.
डाल दिया सिद्धार्थ सर ने कि सब पूर्वा के अंदर होना चाहिए और थोड़ा थोड़ा दिखाते हैं उसको.
Yeah, like in different scenes you see different sides, like and I love like when she goes to meet her cousins in Ladakh, and the way she's acting around them, like having like a small conversation about what's the name of the baby, and it's like you see stuff like that and it makes it so even more real. And she's actually loved Vikrant for such a long time. Like I'm thinking like she's quite patient, like the way she left as a child, but she's had that love for 15 years.
Yeah.
And she's kind of
And
waiting for that.
you know, the kind of things that you tell yourself to justify what and why your character does things is so interesting that I at one point I was so convinced that I told myself that जो भी होता है, पूर्वा is still with विक्रांत. शिखा तो किसी के साथ शादी कर लेती है, पूर्वा तो नहीं करेगी ना. चाहे
Yeah.
कुछ हो जाए, पूर्वा is going to be with him.
I was thinking that as well. Like actually, Purva is more loyal.
I was so excited to know that Shweta is going to be doing Shikha.
I love
Because
Shweta.
I love her work, and whatever
Same.
she's done before, I have seen it as a fan. So to work alongside with her was such a beautiful and a happy moment.
What she did with Mirzapur, and
Yeah.
oh my goodness. And I think when I saw her first, like I first saw her like in Masan, Haramkhor, like
Yeah.
back in the
Yeah.
day. And then when I saw Mirzapur, I was just instantly like
Oh,
Golu was like one of my favorites. And that's why I was so happy like to see her in this new light. Like Shikha is like a character which I've never seen Shweta play before. Like the scenes in Ladakh, they're so beautiful. Like, so how was that experience for you?
Oh my God, that place is so divine. We went there on the 2nd of April, and we were supposed to start shooting on the 5th of April. That was the first day for this Ladakh schedule, and 5th April was also my birthday.
Your birthday, yes.
And it felt so special because there was this there was this Buddhist puja which I attended, and after that we shot itself at the monastery. I think I have so much of gratitude. I look back to these moments all the time, and it makes me feel that yes, God is there with me. The shooting there was difficult because of the weather.
Yeah.
It was very, 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 very cold. And because we had to shoot during the sunlight, so that meant that we had to start the day at 3 in the morning. Like at least I had to wake up at 3 every day. And I'm not a morning person, but for shoots, obviously, you know, you have to wake up at 2, 3, 4 anytime. And
there's actually one show I really, really wanted to watch was Yeh Kaali Kaali Ankhein when I first heard about it. When it was announced, I think it was announced back in that Ab Menu Mein Sab New Hai, like back in March
I think
last year.
it was March. It was the 3rd of March. We were shooting in Omkareshwar.
Yeah.
So that day we were specifically, they were doing Vikrant's house, I remember.
Tahir's work I followed for years. So I was kind of like really intrigued about this show, and Shweta, of course. Like, are there any scenes that you love?
There is this one scene that I was thoroughly excited about, the scene at the dam when she's like, "Wahan tak chaloge." In that scene, that Purva ko, you know, she has those butterfly feelings, that excitement of being with a lover. First time she's meeting him alone, and she wants to spend some alone time, and that's why she wants to take him away from the driver and say, let's go to that.
Yeah. And he doesn't go. He's like, no. He's like, I'm fine. I'm fine. I love that.
So I had emotionally prepared for this scene way back when I started reading the script. And I remember that I prepared so much for it that I literally had butterflies in my stomach that, okay, there's this girl, you know, she's meeting her lover, and how does she feel about it? So when we shot that scene, I think we had already completed about 60% of the shoot. I was so excited, and finally, I think there was this release of this emotion that, oh, finally we've shot this.
Yeah.
I was really looking forward to, as Anchal, I levitate more towards these romantic things, these cute things, and I think in my entire life I've not seen anything that is too much of violence. I've not seen any horror till now, and I can't even watch a gunshot. If there's a gunshot scene, I always close my eyes or just look the other way.
Yeah.
So I mean, as an actor, I keep telling myself that, you know, Anchal, you need to. So I started rewatching Breaking Bad. I'm trying to watch every scene, even if there's violence in it, because otherwise I don't. So that's why I think when I got to know in the script that these are few scenes of Purva where she's this,
the lovely precious scenes.
I think I emotionally wanted to prepare them before I prepared for anything else. I gave in to Purva so much that I forgot that what was right and wrong morally. I mean, for a character, if it works, it works.
Yeah. Simple. My favorite scene is that season finale, Hamra Sajaniya, like that. It's like the perfect crescendo to the season finale. The way you are, like that, you made performance art out of Zumba. How did you work to kind of create Hamra Sajaniya?
There were a lot of workshops going on for me when I was signed onto the show, because it was just 1 week. Siddharth sir was giving me all the insights of the journey of Purva, and taking me through the story, the script, everything. Then there was Devendra Bhattacharya sir. He was helping me with understanding Purva. My dance classes were also going on, and simultaneously my costume trials were going on. I was wearing, I think, about 8 extensions on my head every day.
Yeah.
Every day.
Mhm.
So there were so many things happening simultaneously. The good thing of it was that I didn't realize that I'm getting into such a big opportunity, and that opportunity could not intimidate me, because I didn't have the time to sit back and think that, oh, okay, I'm a part of this huge project.
What I loved about Hamra Sajanya, the yellow drapes that are wrapped around the other dancers, it's like almost like she's this black widow spider, and she's like, those are her legs, like she's trapping her prey.
It was choreographed by Ankita Mehti. There's so much of thought that has been put into everything.
Yeah.
We had the options of doing a lot of things with the costume, but there's also this family repetition. Let's give a close cover, and yet they add to the drama and the dance. So, things like those. Then also, I had learned the lyrics, like it was decided there and then let's not make Pura sing at that time, because she had just come out of that situation. She enters, and there's a performance to do. So the lyrics are a representation of what's going on in her head. So the song was giving meaning to whatever she's doing at that point. And the beauty is that you dissect everything, but when you come down to performing, everything is just at the back. It's subconsciously working for you. In the scene, you are very much there in the moment, and you just perform. So I think there's so much of mental stimulation and emotional happiness that one gets when you perform for such an amazing team. Every scene that we talk about has so much of thought behind it. Even that scene, for that matter, she comes from the dressing room and she's like, "Congratulations, tumhari wish puri ho gayi."
And I'm thinking, he's probably thinking, wait a minute, it's the other way around.
So funny, because it was not written in the script. It was an improvisation done by Siddharth sir, and he said that, why didn't you say something like that to him? I said, sir, this is going to be hilarious. I mean, poor guy.
and he's kind of checking the sharpness of the butter knife in the room, like how sharp is this?
Yeah. No, and the beauty is that Purva is convinced about it. She's not saying it to tease him. She
really thinks
तुम्हारी wish पूरी होगी. She actually thinks that this is for his well-being. तुमको इतनी अच्छी बीवी मिल रही है, अच्छा खानदान मिल रहा है, तुमको जॉब मिल रही है, तुमको प्यार मिल रहा है. What do you want? What else do you want? So she is completely convinced that he's the lucky guy.
He's the lucky one. Yeah.
He's the lucky guy that I have chosen to love you. So you should be just enjoying life now.
Yeah, I love that scene, especially like the way she comes in and she's like, and she's just acting really cheeky, and like you can tell, like, I'm thinking, Vikrant is probably thinking, wait a minute, you've done everything.
I actually also love this scene, and it was such a powerful scene. One could see a very vulnerable side to Purva when she says, "Hum possessive, hum pagal nahi hain."
Yeah.
You see that she realizes that she knows that she's at fault. I'm sorry, but now we'll make it right. I asked my father to help her in the wedding, which of course for Vikrant, it's like, damn.
It's worse, like I have to send a fake wedding invite. In Purva's defense, she does ask Vikrant, and he said no, he doesn't have anyone in his life. Yes, he does want to marry Purva. And so she thinks that, well, what's the problem? So why are you kind of like, kisi aire gaire ko chum rahe ho? Like that scene.
If you start talking about things that you just said that, but in Purva's defense, she asked him everything. I have a list of things, and in my head, the things that justify that whatever she's done,
Yeah.
So, it's taking me a lot of time to come out of that.
I
So
know,
I'm not thinking,
I was feeling the same. I'm thinking like, okay, well that's okay what Purva's done there. And I'm thinking I'm justifying Purva's behavior as well. I'm thinking like, is there something wrong with me? Because I find that what Purva's done is actually, she's not that bad. Like she's kind of questioning him because she's seen a girl like after the wedding, after the day after the wedding, she's seeing him kind of being really close to this other girl. So she's thinking, well, yeah, she has a right to kind of question that because that's her husband now.
you know, it, it felt so good because I remember when the show hadn't released,
Yeah.
when we had pre-release interviews, my in the trailer, the teaser, one could figure that Purva is going to be a negative character and she
Mhm.
has lots of shades of gray and she's going to spoil his life. So in all my interviews, I kept justifying that, Purva has a lot of shades. She's
Yeah.
just not gray. She's beautiful pink also.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it took a lot of time to sort of tell people that wait. But the moment it released, the tables turned. I had
Yeah.
people telling me that, you know what? Hoover was right.
Yeah.
She was not wrong. And then I started telling them that no, listen, Hoover was wrong.
That's the beauty of what you and Sid Sir have done together. The ethics are being questioned there. This girl's a wholesome girl. And I think that's why people have connected a lot with Purva. And they kind of are willing to look past some of the actions because of that. And I'm so glad. Like in the season finale, like we see, she's still around.
It's absolutely touching. So there's so much that people have, describing Purva and describing her intentions that, I've taken a back seat now. I feel that, wow, what a response, because मुझे कुछ बोलने की ज़रूरत ही नहीं पड़ती है.
And that's like, I'm breathing a sigh of relief that the antagonist is still around. That shows the beauty of what you've created. Pallavi's there and Purva's there. I'm thinking, but then luckily I'm so glad.
Such a beautiful actress. She's a great girl and a
Yes.
very, very talented girl.
Hetal, yes.
She's so good. Again, I learned so much from her. I think everybody on the set is amazing. I became very good friends with Anand. Great guy.
He is, oh my goodness, I love Golden. I think because he gets away with saying so the funniest things. And I'm thinking like he wouldn't, no other character can get away with some of the things he says. It's just because he has that face and that sort of innocence that comes out.
Such a naive person. You're right. He could get away with anything because of the way he says it, the things he says while Purva's around him.
In the weirdest way, he's saying the least feminist things that one could think of, but then you kind of still like find him really lovable. That's the beauty of Yeh Kaali Kaali Ankhein. Everyone is important. Another show I just wanted to talk to you about is Undekhi. My God, what a show! So, how did your journey begin as Teji?
I was pretty new to this OTT world.
Mm-hmm.
It's good to be in advertisements, but I wanted to act.
Yeah.
There was a South film that I done. There was a Punjabi film. Everybody was questioning, when are you going to do something in Bombay? So I always had this feeling that an actor is an artist. Language and culture should not be a barrier.
Yeah, exactly.
And that also comes from the defense background. My dad was in the Air Force. Adapting to cultures and languages was not a problem.
Yeah.
But the problem is when you have to sit and wait to get the right opportunity.
Yeah.
And I think it's not the yeses that make you, it's the no's that make you. And
Yeah.
there's this perception that, oh, in the beginning, you need to do everything that comes your way. Beggars can't be choosers. But I think it's so important that you contribute your time, your effort, and your passion into something which will help you in your journey in some way.
Yeah.
I was, sitting at that time and wondering that what next is going to happen. What am I going to do next? And that's when Teji happened. That's when Undekhi happened, and it opened this wonderful doors, and so many beautiful opportunities could be, seen sitting from there. And Undekhi one was huge. It had so many eyeballs. And then season 2 has just released.
Yeah.
response has been tremendous.
Mhm.
And also because my two shows released back to back,
Yeah.
people could feel that okay, ठीक है, ये पूर्वा नहीं है सिर्फ, ये तेजी भी है.
Yes, she's also a KG as well. Yeah.
So I've learned one thing, that when I come to Bombay to act, I had a lot of faith in Almighty, and I was this
Mhm.
person who always surrendered to the universal energies. I felt that you do your hard work, don't think of how and where what will happen.
Yeah.
It will manifest. But then over the time, after a lot of work and all, you sort of just feel that what am I doing next? Is this the right thing that I've chosen to do? Because I come from a very spiritual background. I've meditated every day. I've been into, a lot of mind psychic healing.
Oh wow.
So
Beautiful.
yeah, so there were things that I felt that I don't know if I've taken the right decision for
Mhm.
myself. My heart always was very sure of what I want to do. I definitely know what I don't want to do in life.
Mm.
And it started like that.
Oh, lovely.
So, I somehow feel that I have gone back to being how I was previously when I just come to Bombay, just very fresh,
Yeah.
infused a lot of positivity. And I'm standing at a point where I've actually surrendered my journey to Almighty. I'm just going to do my hard work. As an actor, my job is to keep learning and keep growing. And as long as that is going to happen, the rest will follow.
That's so beautiful. My God, that's like I'm thinking. Yeah, that's so true. And you have such a global look to you. I think I could easily see you in a British film one day. I think you have this charm about you, and I think and now we're seeing more and more of that, like a global actor. You're
Yeah,
not kind of confined to just being in one industry.
thank you so much. I mean, these are also, favoring to the times that we are in today. It's very
Yeah.
much possible. And I don't think that anything is impossible as of today. I was saying earlier also that, acknowledgement is so important. So I tell myself that there are no boundaries, there are no fears.
Yeah.
Anything can happen, anything is possible. Just keep at it, which is the most important thing, which I think nobody tells you, but I think it's the only thing that will make you successful, that you just need to be at it.
Yeah. And be patient as well. Like when.
No, absolutely. The
Yeah.
game is all about patience. It
Yeah.
is all about patience. And for a person like me, I think that learning is very important because I'm a workaholic. I
Hmm.
have two sides to myself. I can definitely be the most lazy person ever. I could sleep for 16 hours a day or eat the whole day. But that's just probably I need that for one day, once in a while. But
Yeah.
other days I'm this hyper person, infused with a lot of energy, workaholic. So my learning has been to tell myself, okay, quantity is not important, quality is important. So let's focus there.
That's so true. Like, how did you do like Undekhi and Yeh Kaali Kaali Ankhein back to back, like in the last year and a half? Two Undekhis, one Yeh Kaali Kaali Ankhein.
Yeah, and imagine, and while you're saying that, I remember after I finished Ye Kali Kali Ankhe after giving 7 months, and I just wanted to sit back and relax. So I was in Manali for 1 week. I
Mm-hmm.
traveled there a bit,
Yeah.
and then I went to Delhi to see my family. I said that
Mm-hmm.
I just want to just pamper me with a lot of food.
Yeah.
I want to watch some content and read some books and just chill.
Mm.
And on the third day, I started telling my mom that I need to work. I need to work.
Wow.
I haven't done anything. My mom said, you know what? You're one mad person. You'll make us also mad. Decide what you want to do.
Yeah.
So then that's when I decided that I need to take care of my mental health, of my emotional health, and my physical body, and relax for a bit. So it was just after 20 days of being in Delhi that I got a call from Undekhi team that they wanted to start shooting for season 2 ASAP. We
Yeah.
knew that the shoot had to start, but we didn't have the dates. So after 20 days, I got the dates, and that meant that I had to fly back to Bombay the next day, and the work had started. So
Wow.
yeah, it was literally back to back. but I enjoyed myself.
Speaking of like season 2, Teji's new side. I mean, she's
Yeah.
kind of like she kind of scares me now. What she did with Saloni and Josh, but no, she kind of, I was thinking, oh my goodness, I wouldn't want to be on Teji's bad side.
She is leaving behind the human side, and she's just focused about ruining the Atwals.
What, like even in season 1, you see a slight shift when just before, like when she's told by Rinku that well, you're gonna have to get married. Just it's up to you how you get married. And then she has that switch where she makes a speech saying, "Papa ji, no, Amrika, we're gonna stay."
Oh my God. That was the first time we saw Teji being up to something, because we we registered her as this righteous girl, always fighting
Yeah.
for the right and moral things, saying my father is air commander, always
Yeah.
using family father's background to show that what dignified woman she is. But it is the circumstances that put
Really
her
changed her,
through
yeah.
those situations. I will now give it back in my way.
Yeah.
That twist was very interesting for me as an audience to read, first of all, when I read it in the script. And when I had to perform, I still remember I was very nervous that how will this switch take
Yeah.
place? How will it happen? Is it going to be justified? But I think it looked very nice and powerful, and a lot of women around me, at least that I know, related to it.
Teji and Muskan are both really powerful. I love both the bahus of the Atwal Khandan. Like they're so powerful.
Don't mess up with these bows, please.
I wouldn't want to mess with Muskan or Teji. I love the dynamic Teji has with Rinku Paji. Like that's sheer hate relationship.
There's this, you're walking on a thin line and you want to be very balanced about it. They hate each other, but they are also brother-in-law, sister-in-law.
Parjaiji, huh?
Right. It's a very dicey relationship in reality also, if you see around. So you can't cross your lines, but you have to sometimes convey the meanest things also with just a smile.
That I love that.
So
I think with such a smile.
Yeah, so that dynamics was very interesting. Even Rinku, we see that he's so frustrated about what Teji is up to all the time.
But he can't ever do anything like...
he cannot face her. And they cannot look into each other's eye, They hate each other, but then because everybody's around, mostly because of Daman, they have to
mainly, Daman, yeah.
So I think such dynamics are very interesting because they're real also.
Yeah, I think that, and it's so funny because I'm thinking like he calls her Parjaiji with such politeness, but he hates her. The way he feels about her, like it's like he doesn't like her, but then the way he's always kind of respectful that she is my Barbie, and actually I love the scene actually towards the end when they bring Papaji back from the hospital and Daman and Teji are kind of like, Teji's giving this really smug look to Rinku that I'm now on Papaji's side. Papaji's now he thinks I'm loyal.
Yeah. I think I love doing these mean things. I think
you just do it with like a smile. I love that about you. Like your facial expressions just say so many words.
There's a huge battle going on. It's a mad, crazy family, and everybody is up to something or the other, and their point of interest are clashing. You don't know what the next person ends up thinking, doing. So I think it's a crazy family story.
I love this crazy, twisted Atwal family. It is so like I'm thinking like each character is so different. Like there's the Mummijis. Mummijis are so funny. Then you have Papaji. Oh my goodness, Papaji and his Galia, and then Rinku and Daman and Muskan and you. And I'm thinking, I love this family.
Nobody dare to trouble Rinku, but Teji's,
kind of poking fingers there.
She loves it. She looks for opportunities to do it. And when she's enjoying it the most, she says Rinkuji. From Rinku, she'll come to Rinkuji. The way he says Parjaiji.
Yeah. Because usually Daman's around. That's why.
Right. Poor Daman.
Poor Daman, yeah. On a final note, I just wanted to ask you, like, so what kind of stories are you now looking to be a part of?
I've been spoiled, Mimi, honestly, ever since I worked on Yeh Kaali Kaali Ankhein. That too with such a creative team. Um, I'm spoiled now. So I definitely know that I want to be part of projects in which there is a lot of creative involvement
Mhm.
and there's a scope to learn
Yeah.
and grow as an actor. Because I don't want to come back home and feel that the day was good and sleep. I want to come back home and I want to think that what did my director say? How can I add to that to my next scene? Or I enjoy that. I have chosen this field for a reason that it gives me some sort of inner happiness, and so I think I want to be disturbed and troubled, and I don't want a peaceful night's sleep.
Yeah, and I think those are the characters that leave a mark, like and have the legacy. Like I'm thinking Purva's has already left such a mark, and Teji. And I'm thinking, yeah, like these are stories that I think live on forever.
But on a lighter note, I think I do really levitate towards romantic films, period dramas.
Hmm.
Since I've already played two very strong women characters, I would also like to explore characters who can probably take up this social issue or
Yeah.
something, that helps the current times, the living situations of people. I really look up to the journey of Vidya Balan. She is an amazing woman
Mm.
and her career choices are beautiful. I love what Alia Bhatt has been doing so far.
Mhm.
So I think if you are ready to put in your hard work, your time is right, you'll just get through good projects. So I
Mm.
am not going to pinpoint and or reduce the chances. I'm telling the universe that surprise me. You have
Wisely.
surprised me in a big way. 2022 has been like a brilliant year for me so far.
Mhm.
So fingers crossed. Let's see what's next.
And I'm just hoping and praying to see like more vibrant roles.
No, absolutely. I want to work, and I think that the times are very good, and I am looking at different things, but I'm waiting to sign on to something which is going to not let me sleep for the next few days.
And I hope it wouldn't let me sleep when after I watch this, because I'm thinking, yeah, after watching Yeh Kaali Kaali Ankhein, that shows the effect Yeh Kaali Kaali Ankhein had as a show, because I'm thinking like I'm spending time thinking of making up theories. What if this happened? What if this happened? And it just kind of keeps me awake at night also as an audience member.
My best compliment so far has been actually from my mom.
Yeah.
So much after the release, actually, I met her because we were busy with our promotions and stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
to seek my parents' blessing, I said, you don't come to Bombay, let me come there. We have a meditation room also. So my mom met me, hugged me. She spoke to me for half an hour and she said, Maza nahi aa raha, I want to meet Purva.
Oh, oh my God.
She had COVID during the time and she was to kill time. She, I think, binge watched Yeh Kaali Kaali Ankhein n number of times.
Mm.
And when she met me, she said that the face is Purva's, but you are not Purva. I want to meet
Oh.
Purva, so please talk like her to me. I said, Mama, stop it.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
It shows the effect of Purva.
yeah. In fact, so many times, I've spoken to people after talking to me for 5 minutes, they give that confused question mark look and they say कि आप पूर्वा जैसे बात नहीं कर रहे हो, आप थोड़ा उसके जैसे बात कर दो प्लीज, दैट्स अ स्पेशल रिक्वेस्ट. एंड हमारे फ्रेंड बनोगे, दिस डायलॉग, I think I said it over a million times to make people happy because they're like, please just say that one line. Please just say that one line. So
Yeah. It's so cute the way you say it. Like even as an adult, you're saying it to Vikrant. You're asking Vikrant, like back in the day, you didn't want to be my friend, but hamare friend banoge. And then when Vikrant says it in Ladakh to Purva, it's even more cute. Like
I think right after this interview, I'm going to message Siddharth sir and ask him that when are we shooting season 2? Please tell us.
yes, That's my question exactly. I can't tell you how much I'm looking forward to Yeh Kaali Kaali Ankhein too.
Yeah.
I'd love to actually find out more about like Purva's backstory, like about maybe her mother and like what happened there. And I'm thinking, yeah, there's so much to kind of dissect
Why
there.
this girl is like that. I would really love Vikrant to like Purva a little bit at least now.
Do you know what? A part of me thinks in season 2, he is going to stay. He's going to carry on staying with Purva. Shikha is going to go and marry maybe Golden. You never know. I'm having all sorts of theories in my head. Well, I don't think Shikha's wedding took place because Dharmesh is obviously gate crashed that wedding. I think Shikha's going to have to marry Golden, and there's going to be a dynamic there because Golden doesn't really like Shikha. And
Golden already has a girlfriend, no?
Yeah, Sonia.
Sonia.
Yeah. But you never know. And I would like Vikrant to like Purva more.
You know, that also reminds me, I remember the scene, it was between Tahir, Golden and me, where I asked him, ki ye kaun hai? I put on my phone.
The phone, yeah.
So he's like, the weird kind of stories that Golden narrates at that time.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was asking myself when I saw that scene that how did I not laugh at the moment?
Yeah.
It's so funny.
He was like, "Mujhe sharam aa rahi thi," like what she was doing, and you say disgusting, like what
disgusting. I know. And then he's like, stupid. You know, then he says, oh, president ho gayi hai. You know, such things, you know.
Yeah, so, president, yeah.
I'm going to side with Purva. I think her love is way more than anybody else. She's more loyal.
My God, she jumps for Vikrant when he falls in the dam. She drops. Yeah. She's like Vikrant, and she just jumps. She doesn't even think about it. That's what I think was so beautiful about it, because you can see that there is that pure love she has.
Absolutely. I think by the end of the day, she just doesn't want to get married. She wants to be loved by him.
She's trying so hard to be loved by him. But thank you so much. This has been so fun, like talking about Yeh Kaali Kaali Ankhein and Undekhi. May you continue to bless us with more roles like this, more delicious roles. I'm just hoping and wishing to see more and more of you, Anchal.
Thank you so much, Minnie, for having me. It was a really wonderful conversation. Glad that it finally took place. And thanks to you that I actually relived these memories and moments in my mind. I'm so happy that I could, you know, think about those things. It made me so happy and smile.
Yeah, and that's why actually it's good to do this now. Like after a while, you've had time to kind of process that.
Absolutely. I think that processing is so important. Because the kind of overflowing love that comes your way after a certain success, you know, can just sort of be a bit too much for you to take, you know. So I'm calm, I'm happy, I'm excited for what's going to happen next. And not to forget, I'm going to call it Siddhartha right after this.
I think I'll message him too, just please make Kaali Kaali Ankhein. And so yes, and all the best.
Thank you so much. You take care.
You
Bye.
too. Bye.